Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Sing. So, Illumination Studios held an event called Sing Saturday, where they were showing the film Sing really early, free across the nation for like the first 200 people that showed up at each theater. They handed out these fun little cards that had activities, as well as these adorable pencils with the little pencil toppers on them. So it was a really fun time. I thought it was a nice, fun event. However, as I was sitting there waiting to be led into the theater, I really started to realize, I wonder, are they doing this to combat kind of the lukewarm to negative reaction that they've been receiving from especially that initial commercial? And I really think that's what it was. How do we get people in here to see the movie? We need to kind of restructure the narrative. Otherwise, this seems like a crazy tool to have this huge event a month beforehand where just people across the entire nation are seeing the film for free. And in the end, I think Sing is a good, fine film. So I do think it will change the narrative a little bit. The kids in my theater seem to really enjoy it. But I don't know that this is a movie that needed such a broad marketing scheme. I really think the film will sell itself as what it is as we get closer to the film. So Illumination Studios has been churning out hit after hit after hit. I mean, between the Despicable Me series, which has spawned 3 huge hits, and then we had Secret Life of Pets, which just passed Batman v Superman at the worldwide box office. I mean, they are really becoming a powerhouse in the animation field. And I think the big reason for that is that Illumination has filled a gap in our current era of animation. So Pixar really ushered in this new age of sophisticated animated films that adults will enjoy as much, if not more, than their children. So we've gotten much better storytelling, really sophisticated themes and writing in our animated films these days, thanks to Pixar really pushing forward with that. And now we've really seen Disney animations come back strong as well. The last few years, this second renaissance of Disney has pushed forward with, again, much more sophisticated filmmaking, much more sophisticated tones and ideas, writing. And outside of those 2 studios, we see things like Laika, which are really pushing the envelope in the niche market. We have all of these other studios that are clamoring to kind of stay afloat in this market. And we even saw DreamWorks pushing forward, trying to be much more sophisticated with the How to Train Your Dragon series, and then kind of evening that out with, fluff. And then we get back to the DreamWorks staple of pop culture references. But that brings me to Illumination. I think Illumination has just consistently delivered safe, well-crafted, fun, animated fare. And that was my main problem with The Secret Life of Pets earlier this year. It was a good movie. It made me smile. It made me laugh well enough. But it's forgettable. It didn't stick with me after I left the theater. It isn't sophisticated enough to really be one of the best films of the year. And I think that's what we get here with Sing as well. And that's why it really hit me on the head. Because leaving Sing, I was like, that was a fun movie. That was nice. That talent show at the end really left it off on a high note. But the storytelling wasn't particularly sophisticated or interesting. The jokes, there were a couple that kind of landed with adults. But overall, they also were just kind of old school animated jokes. So I think Illumination has come in and filled the niche of just solid, good, aimed primarily at children animated films. And I don't think that's a bad thing. And obviously, the world doesn't either, because they keep going out in droves to see these movies. So let's just talk about Sing singularly now, and what it does right and what it doesn't do so great. So I think the voice cast is all really good. They're all totally game for what they need to do. Matthew McConaughey plays the part very well. He pulls back a little bit on those McConaughey-isms and delivers a good, solid performance. Reese Witherspoon, she's there. We've heard Reese sing before, so we knew she could sing. She's definitely not the greatest of singers, but she isn't given that much to do with her character. And then we have Taron Egerton, who I just love and want to see in more live action things, but he is very good in this. I think Taron Egerton was wonderful, and I didn't know he could sing that well. But I think definitely the standout of our main cast was Tori Kelly, who plays the elephant Mina. Her voice just blew me away. She sounded amazing and definitely delivered on the promise that we kept kind of getting teased toward throughout the film. But I also think she just played Mina as a character very well as well. I also thought Seth MacFarlane was really good in this movie. So again, Seth MacFarlane, much better when he's off screen and just doing voice acting compared to when we actually get to see him. But just everyone was really game for the singing sequences, for the more ridiculous stuff that they're asked to do. I thought everybody really turned in something they should be proud of when it comes to voice work. And I also think the animation is nice. Illumination has a different kind of animation style than we see necessarily with Pixar and with Disney, but it works very well. The characters are simultaneously cute and have that dimension of realism. They feel like an animation, they feel like a cartoon, while also feeling, a little bit textured, a little bit layered. And I think especially the porcupine, played by Scarlett Johansson, had some great emoting moments. I thought her face really worked well. The elephant design was a little bit clunky just because the trunk was so huge you couldn't really see the mouth and it looked weird as she sang. And then the little tiny ears on the side. I don't know, the elephant design was my least favorite of all the animals, but overall I thought the animation was nice. I also thought the world building was really fun. It felt very reminiscent of Zootopia in the fact that this was a place designed for animals to live in a metropolis. So it's really fun to see their take on what a metropolis looks like when it's filled with animals of all different kinds. But then again, the problem is that it did come out in the same year as Zootopia, who really fleshed out the world building and was much more inventive in the different things they did to kind of flesh that all out. And as I said before, that last talent show was really heartwarming. I just enjoyed watching it. It kind of reminds you of why singing shows have been so popular since American Idol. Because you like seeing these, feel-good stories get up there and showcase real talent and just stride on that stage and blow everyone away. So I thought that portion was done expertly well. And that chameleon, the chameleon assistant old lady, was hilarious. I love that chameleon. I think she got the most laughs, really, out of anybody in the film. So what does the film not do so well? The biggest problem is just kind of the script in general. We have so many different storylines and so many characters that we're following that they all are very, very generic. We don't get any sort of originality when it comes to any of the storylines. We've seen these beats a million times. And the fact that we have so many, we're not able to even flesh out those beats very well. So they're all generic stories that we've seen so much, but they're also written paper thin. And really, our characters aren't all that likable. That little mouse pretty much isn't likable through the entire movie. I mean, he has some sort of redemption, but not really. The dad gorilla, it's pretty one note and then switches on a dime. So it's like, Even the storytelling and the arcs that these characters go through are just so thinly written that we don't get any development. So the payoffs don't feel all that grand. The emotional punches don't really come through because we weren't really given enough story and given enough time to care, to connect to these things. And of course, they fall back on a lot of the DreamWorks style tropes of, we're going to have this character you wouldn't expect sing this song that you know and love. That doesn't really fit with the character. And that's what we're going to use as punchlines. That's what we're going to use as the major laughs in the movie. Plus, it's a lot of just, let's throw songs out there. It's not a musical, so they don't just run around singing as they walk around doing everyday things. So it's not as cringeworthy as like Strange Magic or even Trolls in that sense. But it is relying heavily on, let's get everybody bopping to songs they already know. And I think there was only maybe one original song in here that we could really gravitate towards. So I wish there was more original content in that as well. And to be honest, those moments are compounded when we get these really inventive scenes. Like there's a wonderful scene with the squids that is just gorgeous. It's completely inventive, and it just showed kind of what the movie could have been. There was also this really great sequence happening with the car wash where, you know, a sheep and the koala really work together in unique ways, in inventive, funny ways to create a car wash. And then you get like Speedo and fart jokes. So it all just was like, oh, this is what we could have been and this is where we could have gone. But most of the movie stayed in the like, retread zone. So my overall thoughts on the film. Sing is a fine movie. It will keep your kids entertained. It will make the whole family feel nice as you leave on Christmas Day to go see it. But it is a completely 100% safe movie that doesn't push any boundaries, doesn't really have any originality to it. So I really think that Sing deserves a rental. It makes for an okay matinee come Christmas time. It just is too run-of-the-mill for me to recommend any higher than maybe a matinee. So, that has been my review of Sing. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Sing? And what is your favorite talking animals animated flick? Let me know either in the comment section down below or hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!